Internet, Johnny DL here. The video that was going to go up here wasn't actually fit for public consumption, so although I did record it, it's not going out. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I did get asked a number of questions, and I've written 3 of them down on a notepad so that I can talk about them, because I'm finding it really, really hard as of late. I'm finding a lot of things stressful, and I feel quite alone at the moment, and it's just been incredibly difficult. And I know, I know quite a lot of it is in my own head, and um, I'm actually getting better and hiding myself less as of late. I with my depression, I've become very good at hiding myself and refusing to accept, and me talking about stuff on video to a camera that there's nobody here who can judge me, there's nobody who can give me odd looks, there's nobody who can ask me questions and stop me in my tracks and move me away from what I want to say. And me being able to do it on video is something really powerful for me, because I can do it on my own, but I get stuff back from it, and helpful stuff. I get an awful lot of unhelpful stuff as well, and it's for me to work out what's what and work out how to get better, and maybe I should be getting some professional help above and beyond what I've been getting lately, but I don't know. I really don't. So these 3 questions. The first one is, why do you make videos about your depression? Which I've covered some of there. I make videos because it helps me vent a little bit. It gets things off my chest. There are some things that wander around in my mind almost constantly. I mean, not that long ago, I put up a video I recorded quite a while before about a crush I had. And I have images flash through my head of all sorts of stories, and that's one of them, where I've done something incredibly stupid or incredibly embarrassing, or something that maybe wasn't at the time that big an embarrassment or that bad, but because of the number of times it's popped into my head, and this image or this series of images or this story has flashed across my mind and replayed and twisted and replayed and twisted, and the stories that I keep getting told in these flashes are really quite horrific, some of them. And there is a distinction between the images in the images and the flashes and the stories that go through my mind and the original, and I can see there's a difference there. And I will talk, and I talk about the original story on YouTube quite a bit, so that I, for once, vocalize as much of the truth as I can, so that I can put an end to at least some of the flashes. And they may not be the biggest or most terrifying flashes that go through my mind, but they're stories that have grown out of control in some ways. And I don't talk about the worst ones either. The worst ones I'm still struggling with, and I may or may not put them out there because those some of the really bad ones are where I've made mistakes that have really, really hurt people or really, really hurt me. Um, and I don't necessarily want to have them public domain. Um, I want to be out there, warts and all, but I don't want to be judged on things that I consider that were freak events that I went out of control and I couldn't. And because I was out of control, I didn't control myself and did some really, really stupid things. Um, so that's why some of the stories, the stories that I tell of my depression, well, I say stories, the running commentary on my life that is um, up to date, and I talk about things that are happening to me and are important to me right this minute. Um, I tend to talk about those things because I can't talk face to face with some people. Um, whether that's because of distance or whether that's because of my just not wanting to confront people with stuff, I really can't cope with it in in some ways, and uh, I have done the video so that I can feel safe and tell the story and put it out there and then let people know about it, and then they can watch it and take some time to analyze it and think it through, and hopefully when it finally gets to discussing it in person, which it eventually would happen whether I made the video or not, but it will happen in a much more pleasant environment in some ways. It'll happen in a place where there's some understanding of the perspective that I have before we go into a situation. Um, and there are times when this doesn't work, and there are times when it works amazingly well. Um, and that, that's part of the reason why I do it, because the times that it works amazingly well are the times that I feel I start to feel better about my situation, and I start to do stuff about my situation that's good and productive. Um, so I think I've answered that question satisfactorily for now. Um, I may come back to it again in another video, but the next question is, why aren't your videos consistent in your schedule? This comes from a couple of different ways. Um, the question was sort of asked, why don't you record at at a reasonable time, or um, make things on a schedule, or do video editing uh, um, as like a day job. And partly it's because and you can tell that this happens because the lighting. Um, I mean, right now it's artificially lit. There's a ceiling light bulb. It's 11:30 at night, and as a result, there's no light coming in from the window, and you can tell the difference. Um, and I don't record at the same time because of when I want to record, and the when isn't a time of day or when I have an idea. When I want to record is when I don't have any background noise, which usually means that television that's in the house is turned off, um, and preferably when people are not in the house, um, because there can be sudden sounds, and when I'm sitting making videos, I don't want to be overheard, and I don't want to have the distraction of background noise when people are chatting through the other side of the wall. I can hear it, and it's distracting, um, and I don't know whether the microphone picks it up at all or very well, and there might be um, copyrighted content if it's coming from the television, and I don't want that to be on my videos, and then me have to take the video down because of something incidental. Um, so I make videos when there is space for me to space in the schedule for me to make videos. Um, I'm making this video, like I say, 11:30 at night because up until this time, um, the house was. I didn't know that the house was going to be quiet for the rest of the night. Um, just happened that way today, and though sometimes I make videos at 9 o'clock and there's a little bit of a light outside, I prefer making videos in the day when the house is empty. I like using natural light um, rather than artificial light, but it's not always easy or convenient. Um, well, I found that I like sitting here when it's when I'm using the artificial light because um, it's quite a comfortable place to sit, and it means that I get a chance to um, write stuff down and have it around me. And um, I don't write down an awful lot of stuff, but I do write down things like these questions occasionally and have it around me in reach. And this space is almost always clear because it's right next to my door on this side, and it's a walk through into my bedroom. Um, you're currently sat on my bed, on the end of my bed, and um, this space is always clear. So it's a really convenient place for me to do it. And with the artificial light, it's not directly in front of me. It works quite well in bright daylight. Well, I don't like sunshine, but in daylight, um, I can't sit here because the shadowing is all wrong. I can see it on the well, on my phone, which I use to record, and I prefer when I can sit somewhere which is hands free and the lighting's right. Um, so yeah, that's why I don't make videos on a constant schedule. And then there's uploading videos, which is um, different again. I don't make videos public at the same time every night. And usually this is just down to sheer bone idleness. I don't realise that, well, I forget that I've got to release a video because I'm not in a habit of doing it at a certain time every night. And I'm not in at a certain time every night, and I don't always do it from my computer. And as far as I know, there isn't a program for me to just go make this video public and at the same time do these things to it so that it's in the right playlist. And it because I upload all of my videos now a while beforehand. Uh, as you'll know from various videos you've seen now, I make them ahead of schedule, and it doesn't take a lot of energy to get ahead of schedule. You just make I'm making currently 1 or 2 videos a day, so I'm building up sort of a week buffer between when I record the videos and when the videos go out. Um, and it may get longer, it may not, and depending on how I decide to change my publishing schedule because of various things I've talked about, um, that that number may vary. But I don't want to be too far ahead of myself because then things might not be relevant anymore or um, something else. Um, so yeah, it's about getting some sort of balance, and at the moment I don't know where that balance is, and I'm still juggling. I'm a new YouTuber. I've only been doing this for like 40 days now. Um, some of which my schedule was completely turned upside down by the fact that I wasn't at home, and I've I could make up 100 more excuses for why um, things have turned out the way they have. But so what? It doesn't really matter. It just has. Um, and yeah, I do want to get on a better schedule and do things a bit better. But um, I'm still working it out, and I am going to keep working it out until I find a balance that's right for me. Um, my final question that was asked is making videos helping you or making you worse? Um, I mean, since I've started making videos, I think some of you will have noticed that there's been a marked change in between my attitude in one video or another, um, depending on what I'm talking about. And I think this is one of my more coherent videos. I mean, having questions certainly helps, and I've got a direction that I've been thinking about all day for this video because of one thing or another. And um, yeah, on the whole, making videos has actually helped me. Watching videos has helped me. Um, because I've stopped lying to a large degree. I've been very good at covering my tracks and not telling the whole truth all the time and keeping myself hidden away and not dealing with issues and then having mini breakdowns when I can't hide it anymore and then recovering myself and hiding it just that little bit better to make it appear that the breakdown was worthwhile. And because I'm having to tell some of the hardest things that I've got to talk about to a camera, and I want to be as honest as I possibly can. It's helped me because I can't hide from it anymore. I can't um, shy away from it anymore. The videos don't necessarily deal with the problems, but they certainly deal with my feelings a bit, so that I can start to deal with the problems a bit better. Um, yeah. Uh, I don't know whether this is going to make any difference, but in the long run with people in my life, but those questions have been running through my mind, and I was building up to a confrontation this evening and going, at some point you are going to say this, you are going to come out and tell them, and I I couldn't speak up. Um, an awful lot of things that I wanted to say, I couldn't. But not just about the things I've talked about, but other minor little eagles and niggles, um, and I couldn't. couldn't say a word because the environment felt wrong, and the environment with talking to a camera, I may not be fluent at it. I may still struggle. I may take pauses. I may do ums and ahs, and I don't edit because I really don't want to edit. And don't get me wrong, people who edit, what they do is amazing. But talking to a camera raw, I think takes a whole different level of a whole different type of skills, and I want to build that skill set up because that's a set of skills you can use in the real world. Um, you can't chop and change and edit bits of conversations, but if you have the skills that come from learning to talk and learning to be coherent, those skills you can use just about anywhere. Um, so I don't edit my videos, um, and the other things that just driving me crazy that I really want to talk about and get out there and hopefully make environments better. That's where I was at. And engineer some situations because I can't talk about certain things without engineering a situation right ahead of schedule because if something comes up that I'm not expecting or I don't like, then I end up scratching at myself or um, or tearing at myself because I feel uncomfortable and I'm hurting and I just want to change the pain in so many different ways and um, it can be quite difficult because at that point I just shut down. And I could go on and on and on about various different things here, but we're now at 22 minutes, so I've got to stop. Um, I'm going to leave it there. I am going to leave it there. If you've got any questions for me, there's always Ask FM below. Um, there's my Twitter. I've got an email address. Um, like I said, Ask FM is always it can always be anonymous. So if you want to ask questions on there, do. Doesn't matter what the question is. Um, I've never not answered a question, so to speak, that I've been asked by somebody. Um, so yeah, Ask FM. Oh, Google Plus is down below as well. And I've been getting a bit better at liking and sharing stuff on Google Plus, so you might find it interesting. Um, so yeah, that's me done. Sorry it's been such a long video, but I did have to talk about all that stuff. Johnny Dale, out.